Good evening, I'm John Mackay. No, I'm joking. 6 o'clock in it, so I just heard him down the stairs. That's the reason I done it, because I could hear the STV news tune playing. And I was like, Christ, I'm competing with the most watched programme in Scotland here. Is it the most watched? It's probably up there for the most. Surely the STV news is. Who cares, right? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Nice to see you all piling in the chat for this wee live stream this evening. I thought, like, yeah, I'm enjoying doing this weekly, having one of these streams. It could be a random day. It could be a Tuesday, as it is today. It could be a Thursday. It could be a Sunday. I don't know, but I'm enjoying doing them every week because it's a little bit of a change. It gets the chance to. I need to. Can we bring this up? Have you seen this? Tremendous pattern. I hope they've made up. Yes, for the sake of Celtic, I hope that the Chinese and the Koreans have made up. Honestly, some brilliant patter. But anyway, hello. I thought we'd go live tonight because a lot of what we're talking about, I've already spoke about this week on the channel. We're going to be talking about let's cut to the chase. We're going to be talking about Cho Gue-Sung from over in Korea, obviously, and the potential transfer of him to Celtic for the fee of £3 million. We're going to talk about the competition, the probability of it happening. But we've already spoke about that this week, so I didn't want to just shove out another video that was the exact same with a very brief update. Instead, I thought we'd have a conversation, I'd get some opinion. We've also got some news on Giorgos Giakoumakis as well that has emerged over the past couple of hours, which another reason I'm glad I've waited to do this live stream, because if I'd done a video, it wouldn't have been on there. So we've got quite a bit to talk about tonight in regards to transfer talk, so we're going to go live, we're going to have conversation as always. I'm going to get you involved with the Q&A towards the end of the stream. But let's just get right into things, because we need to talk about Cho Gue-Sung, of course, who has been linked with Celtic for the last couple of weeks. Well, you know, since probably the first game that South Korea played in at the World Cup, he's been linked with Celtic. But it's picked up steam over the past week or so. We've heard that Celtic have tabled an offer of £3 million to Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors over in South Korea. We've outbidded the likes of Mainz in Germany. But now we face competition. Yes, it doesn't look like it's cut and dry that he will be coming to Celtic. And can I cut to the chase? Can I give my opinion? I don't think he'll come to Celtic. I don't see it happening. So let me give you the latest Sky Sports update. I've been watching Sky Sports News all day, in fact, just in the background. I've been watching Sky Sports News just to see if they said anything, and they have. They have given us an update on the situation in regards to Celtic, and that is that Celtic have held talks in London with the South Korean side. Celtic have spoke. We know that there has been a bid made. God knows how far we've made it in the negotiation process between us and the player. What also has been added by Sky Sports is Rangers have interest in the player. There's been nothing submitted. There's been nothing bidded by Rangers. We don't know if they're going to go for it. £3 million, a lot of money. Don't know if Rangers will quite go for it, but they are interested. And we've also been updated on the fact that clubs in the MLS in America are also interested in Cho Gue-Sung. Interested to the point where a South Korean outlet, Sports Chosun, have reported that the MLS side Minnesota United have bidded £4.2 million. I believe it's pounds, might be dollars. £4.2 million for Cho Gue-Sung, which obviously outbids Celtic. £4.2 million is a rise of £1.2 million from Celtic's £3 million offer. We don't know if the bid for Celtic's been accepted. We don't know if we'll be asked to raise our bid to match Minnesota United, for example. If Minnesota United are going all out to pay £4.2 million, which could rise if there seems to be a bidding war going on, I don't think Celtic will get him. I don't think we will. This is the kind of player that I would, if I had any power at the club, if I had a place in the board, which obviously I don't, if I was on the board at Celtic, I would be trying my best to encourage everyone to make it happen, to go that bit further, to pay a little more money. £4.2 million up from £3 million is a big rise, but for the money that we could be bringing in for Giakoumakis, which we'll come on to, I feel like that's a bid that clubs should be matching. But that is the update that we have today. There is competition. Rangers, I think it will end the interest. I don't see Rangers going in with an offer. If they do, fair enough. We'll have to wait and see who wins that war. But I think that there's a very real possibility that maybe he heads to the MLS. I see Aaron Smith in the chat, for example, saying the only bit of hope is he maybe wants to play Europe. Celtic hold the advantage in terms of Champions League, bigger name club in European football, yeah, etc., etc. But Minnesota United will probably be able to trump whatever we offer him in a wage as well. So I don't know. It depends what the player himself wants, where his ambition lies. He can still go to the MLS and then try and make a move from there on, and also make a little bit more money off of it. But I would like to see maybe Celtic do something to maybe make this bid a little more serious. You know what I mean? I would like to see Celtic match the 4.2 if we need to. We should be able to. Giakoumakis is going to leave for a sizable fee from what we're going to talk about in a moment or so. But yeah, there's your update on Cho Gue-Sung. Thank you very much to user 1967, by the way. 179. Thank you. Will you be at the game on Saturday? I will be at the game on Saturday. I'll be there at Hampden in the semi-final. Thank you for your donation. I really much appreciate it. He's always maintained that he wants to play in Europe, which is encouraging, but he's still fairly young, so he has plenty of time. Exactly. He is a young guy. He's only 24 years old, which means that he could go to the MLS, bank some money for a year or two, and then look for that European move, which he might not take at this moment in time. If he is as enthused to play in Europe as he's previously stated in the past, then I would like to imagine that Celtic can get over the line. But I'd imagine that the team that he plays for, I forgot the name of it just off the top of my head there. Let me see. It's Gie-Sung, isn't it? Is that what? No. What's the name of the team again? They're not a household name. You can't blame me. I've just forgot. Jeonbuk. That's it. Jeonbuk. I said it earlier in the video as well. Jeonbuk Motors, Hyundai Motors. You know, if they want more money, they can easily ask Celtic to try and match that. Will Celtic match that is the question. We do have other options. Casper Tengsten, it's came out that Rosenborg are not willing to sell him this transfer window. If they do sell him, they want it to be for a sizable fee. I'd imagine that would be more expensive than £4.2 million, which I will say this, 4.2 compared to what a sizable fee Rosenborg would consider, I think will be a lot less than that sizable fee. So I think Celtic should probably try to go for it. Is it definitely pounds or dollars, that bid? Because if it's dollars, it wouldn't be roughly. No, I think it is pounds. I think it is £4.2 million, which is the annoying part. I was hoping it was dollars at first as well. But I would like to see Celtic try and push through. But Rangers apparently interested. We have got our bid in. Will we be forced to match it? Now, there's one thing I have to say very quickly. There is absolutely nothing to suggest that this bid is 100% confirmed and true. It was reported in the South Korean media. But the furthest that we've heard from Sky Sports and over here in our media is that MLS clubs are interested. So there's not a guarantee. There's not a guarantee that that has actually been accepted yet. So we don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. That is the nearest update we have on Cho Gue-Sung. But I hope that it takes a turn for the best for Celtic, because Giorgos Giakoumakis, his exit from Celtic looks to be edging ever closer, and in good news for Celtic, it looks as though we're going to make a hell of a lot more money than what we might have expected. We spoke about the possibility of £5-6 million for Giorgos Giakoumakis, but it's been reported by the three-letter tabloid that I don't want to read the name of. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's been reported by them that teams in Italy, Japan, America and Russia and the Middle East are all interested. And there's a firm valuation from Celtic that they're holding on to of at least £8 million, which is obviously quite a substantial profit from what we paid for him. I think we paid £2.5 million for Giakoumakis, something around that fee. So you're talking 3 times the amount of money that we paid for Giakoumakis if Celtic hold out to this £8 million valuation they have of the player. Now, it is suggested in the record, they understand, that the priority is to find a move for him now. There is a sort of importance being placed on getting this transfer out of the club. And there's a few teams who are interested in bringing in Giakoumakis. There's some teams that I never knew were interested. Sampdoria apparently have shown interested in a loan move. That was reported in the record. Obviously, we're hearing now about Russia. And we already knew about the Middle East. We've heard the talks about Japan as well. So you're talking a lot of options on the table if Celtic actually get the bids in. Holding out for an £8 million fee is good. I would be happy with that. You're talking a 28-year-old striker. If we could bring in 80 million, that'd be lovely. If we could bring in £8 million for him, I'd be very happy with that. And then you start asking yourself the question, if we bring in £8 million, if we bring in £8 million for Giorgos Giakoumakis, surely at that point then, you go and you spend the 4.1 on Cho. I think it makes sense. You're spending just over half the transfer fee for Giakoumakis on his replacement, who is... I don't want to go as far as saying a proven striker. We've never seen him play in Europe, but we've seen him play at the World Cup. He's been doing it for Book. I think that to go out, it's a good risk to take if we spend just over the amount we make on Giakoumakis. I think we have to go for it. If we do land £8 million, that is. But we need to wait and see. That's the update on Giorgos Giakoumakis. I wonder how long it will take for something to actually come through for the big man. I want to see him stay at Celtic. I would love to see... Well, if he wants to go, then I don't mind. I'd love to see him stay at Celtic, though. But if we need to sign a replacement, we should go big. We should go all out, because he's not an easy player to replace. Not an easy player to replace at all. He scored 25 goals. Over 25 goals, maybe now. So this is the thing. You know, we need to be smart. And if we don't have many options on the table, then the money is there to spend. That's what I would say. I mean, there you go. That's basically it, isn't it? That's the motivation to head over to the Middle East, get some sun, make a lot of money, and he'd be setting up his family for life by doing so. So I wouldn't blame him at all. But that's the updates on both Cho and Giorgos Giakoumakis. Nothing much else going on in terms of updates from yesterday. Of course, yesterday we spoke about Josip Juranovic and his potential move to Monza. We spoke about Stephen Welsh and the interest from the MLS as well. I think also, is it Dinamo Zagreb? Or it's one of these sides from over that direction are interested in Stephen Welsh as well. It looks as though he will be allowed to leave the club. There's been a brief update there today, I think, and saying that he will probably move on from Celtic for the sake of himself. But apart from the things we just spoke about, Giakoumakis and Cho, not really much has changed in the landscape of Celtic transfers from yesterday. The only thing that I'm worried about is the potential of the Cho Gue-Sung move falling through. I honestly, and I've just given it Hajduk split, that's what it is, thank you very much. And I'm seeing it Tengstein, apparently away to Benfica. I've seen a few people saying that, thank you Alistair. But yeah, £8 million. There's no chance Celtic are paying that for that. So the man's got to be Cho. We've got to pay the $4 million. We've got to pay it, I think, if that has been made by Minnesota United. Celtic have got to match that. And I don't know if Minnesota will try and go higher, and then we need to turn our attention elsewhere. But if we're bringing in £8 million, if we're bringing in £8 million for a striker already at the club, $4 million, I think, has to be spent. But we'll wait and see. Obviously, we'll be here all week to update you on it, podcast, and all the rest of it. We'll get into your questions and your points in a quick moment. I'm just going to get everything away from my screen. I've had all my notes and everything up beside me. A busy day watching Sky Sports News. Some big news stories from around the world, I suppose. João Felix away to Chelsea. Of course, yesterday we found out the retirement of Gareth Bale. Some big stories, but all that matters is Celtic, and that's what we want to hear about. So let's get you guys involved. That's the thing, Penny. That's why I don't think he'll come to Celtic. I just don't see us matching that valuation or that fee that Minnesota United are paying. I just don't. I don't know why. And that's it. You've got to speculate to accumulate. The transfer window, I think in Scotland, sorry, my glasses are absolutely manky. I'm fucking struggling to see here. I think in Scotland, it ends on the 1st of February. I think it's either the 31st of January or the 1st of February. I'm not sure. But for worldwide, it's the 31st anyway, I know that. So yeah, let's get your points in. We've done about 15 minutes and we've covered what the most important stories of the day are. Thank you everybody so far. If you're still watching, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It would all be very helpful. There might be a double upload today, this evening. We might have footage from the Tomoki Iwata fan media press conference. I'm awaiting Celtic to email me. Let me go and check if they've emailed me yet. They have. They've emailed me. They emailed it. Fucking hell, they emailed me hours ago. I've just been sitting here not knowing that the email's sitting there. So hopefully tonight we'll have the Tomoki Iwata fan media press conference for you all to watch. I'm going to go and try and get that edited right after this stream. But yeah, okay, get your questions and such in. Max Start says, I suppose we'll see where Cho's ambitions are. He'll either pick the MLS for money or us for European football. Yep, well, at the end of the day, you know what they say, money talks. And if they are offering a lot of money, then we can't really argue with that. Antonios says, appreciate what Gigi has done for the club, but if we want to get to the next stage in Europe, we need a new striker through the door. Bring on Cho. I beg the question. I asked the question to you, audience. Would you rise up from that £3 million fee? Do you think it's worth Celtic taking the rise? Do we go up to 4.1 million? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat. How many more players would I want in? Says Donny Tiny Hands. In this window, you know, a striker, absolutely. We've done well bringing in. You think about it. Look, this has been a very successful transfer window. We've brought in, of course, Kobayashi, then Alistair Johnson, then Tomoki Iwata. You've brought in 3 players there straight away, which is a fantastic number for the January window. 3 players. Brilliant. You're then talking about the potential of a striker coming through the door. It takes it up to 4. I would be very happy leaving it there, to be quite honest with you. I think we've got what we need. But I wouldn't knock back another 1 or 2 if there's the possibility of it. But I think that we'll probably wait to the summer window to conduct more business. But I'm very happy with where we stand right now. Yeah. Do you think that Juranovic's valuation went down because of the Rangers' performance since it had seemed so high before? Nah, absolutely not. I don't think that game would have had any influence or impact on Juranovic's transfer fee. Clubs are smarter than that. You know, clubs don't make valuation changes off of one game. Maybe we were foolish to believe it was so high in the first place, but I honestly do believe it must be related to some form of release clause. Now, someone made a very interesting point, and I'll bring this up now. Somebody made a very interesting point yesterday on my stream, or on my video, sorry, in the comments section, and it was about his departure from Legia Warsaw. The Legia fans were fuming that Celtic got him for such a low fee, and they were stunned at how cheap we actually picked him up. So were we when we seen how good he was. And obviously the same thing is now happening at Celtic. That would suggest to me that the agent must have some form of involvement in these transfers, and there must be something to do with a release clause. That game would not have had any impact at all. After his game against France, Brazil at the World Cup, would have put millions onto his name, and a game against Rangers was never going to take that off him, because World Cup tax exists, whereas Scottish Premiership tax doesn't exist. So yeah, I don't think it would have had much of an impact. But yeah. So let's see, more questions. Sorry if I'm scrolling down the chat. So wait, see, yeah, a good point there from Jordan. You know, he was carrying a knock, he was out of position. Cho will sell shirts like hotcakes with his following, so he's worth that little bit extra. Absolutely, I agree. 100%. Do I think that Mikey Johnson will come back into this squad? No, I don't. I know he's doing well at Vitoria Guimarães. He's been apparently quite good. I think he's started, you know, every game since he signed. But I think that speaks volumes. I just don't think he's going to walk back into the Celtic squad. I think he needs to be somewhere else, starting games, which he's not going to get at Celtic. I don't think he'll play for Celtic again. I think he'll get moved on. To be quite honest with you, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean get rid of him. I just don't think he will stay. Hello, Anthony. Nice to see you. How was the press conference today? I had the chance to attend on behalf of Celtic Underground, but virtually couldn't. Also announced a new podcast episode. I wasn't actually there. It was Ryan McGinley who was there, so I don't know how it went. But hopefully you'll be at the next one, Anthony, son. And new podcast will probably be recorded on Thursday. Yeah, probably Thursday. Now this is interesting from Jota, not the real Jota, of course. Jota says, Ryan, you think Celtic is setting a trend with the Japanese players with Hearts signing one? I don't know. I know Hearts signed the Australian boy. I didn't know they signed a Japanese player. I've always thought of this. Like, I wonder if like the success that I'm half expecting Rangers to start signing players for the J League just to copy us, because we've had so much success with it. You know what I mean? I wonder if look, if clubs are smart enough to expand their scouting range to other leagues, other continents, good on them. It's about fucking time. Celtic waited long enough to do it, and look at the success we've found. You'd be dumb not to have your scouts going over the world nowadays. There is hidden gems everywhere, and Celtic have shown that. And if we have set a trend, then good. I don't think Maida will go to Southampton. I don't. I think he's too valuable at Celtic at the minute. I don't think the club will let him go. And I don't know. It depends if Southampton make a serious offer. The only thing we've heard about is interest. And Southampton aren't just interested in Maida. They're interested in many. From my understanding, they're interested in a few options, a few strikers. And Maida's been playing in the wing for Celtic. They want strikers. I think there's other players on their list that they will prioritise over Dyson Maida. And that's not a knock on Maeda's ability or anything like that. I just think that there's people there that they would rather have at the club right now. And I don't think it'll be Maeda. Thank you very much, Ethan. Hopefully you're having fun. I'm going to America. I'm off to America, boys. Announcement. Couple of big announcements on the personal side of things. I'm off to Philadelphia next year. Got to WrestleMania. Finally, bucket list option. Booked it up yesterday. Heading to WrestleMania 40 in 2024. It's either now or never. So I'm heading to Philadelphia next year. Watch out, American Celts. I'll be there. And I'm also heading to Belgium in July for the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa de Francorchamps, which I am excited for. So there you go. There's a couple of I'm buzzing. I'm absolutely fucking buzzing. Philadelphia and Belgium. What a combination. Hopefully I get Santa Ponza booked a wee bit of normality. I hope that I do get the chance to Batista bomb somebody. Right, let's see. How long we are? We're about 21 minutes into the stream. I've been live since 6 o'clock. So let's get a couple more questions before I end the stream. Cho is such a player, no joke. If you guys get him, you will have a player on your hands for an absolute bargain. I think we need to pay the $4 million. Seems to be the general consensus about him. The MLS League even offer permanent residency to Cho. I've not done too much reading into it, so I'd have to actually see. Thank you, Donald Trump. I will enjoy the US. Let's see. It might sound daft, right? Okay, let's see. DM McDonald. This might sound daft. I hope it makes sense. But out of all of our big players, I'm probably happier that it's Juranovic and Giakoumakis. Right? I absolutely agree with that. That is, you know what? I get exactly what you mean. It doesn't sound daft at all. Absolutely not. Don't worry. I've already been, sir. Numerous times. What was I going to say? It makes perfect sense. And I think you'd be daft to say you don't agree with that. If anybody has, out of all, so if you look at Celtic's, top players, you'd probably have Juranovic and Giakoumakis in there. You'd have Kyogo in there, McGregor in there, Carter Vickers in there. I think that they're the two that you'd probably not, Giakoumakis and Juranovic, they're both, 28? They've not got a hell of a long time. I think it makes perfect sense what you're saying, mate. I really do agree with you. I really do. Do I think Rangers will get Cho? No. They've not even made a bid. The report, as I said at the start of the stream, it's interest at the moment, and I don't know if... And look, listen. Christ, you've got to watch what you're saying in these streams. You've got to watch what you're saying, because you don't want to be left with fucking egg in your face. Everything that's happened in the past with players like John Hartson, who are meant to sign for Rangers and end up signing for Celtic. It could happen. I don't see a world in which Cho is sitting in a room with a Rangers representative, a Celtic representative, and he picks Rangers, unless somehow they double the wage. I don't think they'll bid. But if they do, they're within all of their rights to try and sign him, and they potentially could. But we'll just have to wait and see. I think, look at Celtic right now. The thing that, for me, the most is, Celtic, this is the big, not even the winning the trophies, the winning the league, the position we're in, the Champions League, none of that at all. I don't think that's the influence for Cho in picking Celtic or Rangers if Rangers bid. The influence for me is how good we've done with our Asian players. You look at Kyogo, Maeda, Ryo Hatate, all these guys that have came over. Now we've obviously signed Iwata and Kobayashi as well. I think that that's the kind of thing that Cho will look at and go, wow, this is the place to be. We've accommodated them very well. They are loving life. We're building a real great community in this club. We've brought in so much success from their fans as well in terms of the support that we're finding over there. I think that he'll look at something like that and go, yeah. I know he's not Japanese. I'm not generalising every single Asian person there is, but what I'm saying is I think that will have a big influence. The success that the J-League players have found here, that can be the K-League as well. And one of the other boys, did one of them not come from the K-League as well? I can't remember. But yeah, basically that's my thoughts. Right, a couple more questions. And we'll get on to the end of the stream, because dinner will be getting made probably. So I want to watching this, eating a curry. Hail, jammy bastard. I'm starving. A lot of comments on Rangers. I think the next move for us recruitment wise is to Africa, especially after the success of the North Zealand's academy in Ghana. The J League will soon come to English eyes and have prices inflated massively. Well, you look at the World Cup, and the African market is a weird one because a lot of the African players are already at clubs across Europe. That's the case. But you look how well the likes of Morocco did at the World Cup. These are countries that are producing talented players. There's no doubt about that. And you look at other countries from Africa that were at that World Cup. They gave it a fair whack. So there are players coming through, and one day I think you'll probably see Celtic maybe turn to a market like that. Very weird question. You see like how Spanish and French language is somewhat connected, and English and German as well. Is there any correlation between Korean and Japanese? I have no idea would be the answer. I'm not a language expert, but I know they have names. Like English is it's got a word. Somebody will probably know in the comments. It's a certain type of language. So is Spanish and German. Like our languages are considered something, whereas Japanese, Chinese, and all the rest of it, they aren't considered those sort of languages. I can't remember the fucking word, but we're all kind of under the same umbrella. Like you can see the similarities between Spanish and English, etc. Is that it? Is that what it's called? Is that what the word is? You might be onto something. I can't remember. We were actually talking about this the other day. But anyway, right, I'm going to end it there because I went on for probably longer than I anticipated, but over 300 live viewers. Fantastic. This will be up for you all to watch if you've missed any of it as well, for your updates on the transfers. I'm going to try and go and edit this fan media presser and get it up on the channel for you this evening as well. But thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Like and subscribe and all that jazz. I'm loving these live streams. We'll be back with them very, very soon, I suppose. And of course, heading into that game on Saturday against Kilmarnock at Hampden. Be a podcast and all the rest of it. Right, okay, that'll do me for this evening. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time.